I still remember talking to an Indian colleague, asking her to become Muslim, and she one day she got very annoyed lah. She asked me, said, why are you this? Only the Muslims do this. You don't see other religion do this. I told her very simple. I said, you see, we are both colleagues. We are friends. We work together. You know me. If we were walking, let's say, for example, two of us, we are walking in the roadside and suddenly there's a car behind us and he almost hit me. Do you think you'll pull me? Do you think you will tell me, brother, hey, Adam, come inside, the car is going to hit you? You are going to do that, right? Because you're not going to see let the car hit Adam, right? So you say, yeah, of course I will do it. So why would I not tell you? You are going to hellfire, man. You are leading a life going to hellfire forever and ever. I have to tell you this. How can I not tell you? If I don't tell you this, I'm a very bad friend. How can a good friend see a friend doing something bad, leading a very deadly life, and you still tell the friend, it's okay, go ahead, Bismillah, go.
In this episode, we have a conversation with brother Adam Voo. Adam Voo is a Chinese Malaysian originating from Kota Kinabalu, Sabah, on the East Malaysia. He embraced Islam at the age of 28. He is a graduate in engineering, currently working as in project in the oil and gas industry with over 20 years of professional experience. In addition to his profession, he is also a student of knowledge in Islamic students, graduating with a master in Islamic studies from Aris University. He regularly conducts Islamic classes under organizations such as Aris and Al-Khadim, and he is an author, having published his first book, 100 Hadith Sunan Abu Dawud. An oil and gas engineer, author, student of knowledge, and a father of 4, he is currently residing in Kuala Lumpur with his wife and children. In this all-ingenious discussion of the Barakah Effect podcast, we discuss first his journey to Islam, coming from his upbringing in a Catholic family, his journey from anger to curiosity through denial until finally embracing Islam, how Islam elevated his work ethics and inspired him to be a better professional at the workplace. Number 3, how upholding his Islamic principles didn't become a disadvantage. In fact, surprisingly, actually did favors for his career and professional reputation. Number 4, his personal journey on how he gradually progressed into da'wah and conducting classes. Number 5, he shares about his experience of giving da'wah at his workplace, including some of outrageous misconceptions and conspiracies people have about Islam, and how da'wah really should be a sign of our love to others, and his experience in publishing his first book. Lastly, he also shares his big secret on productivity, how he managed to juggle so many multiple responsibilities and excel in every one of them. Hint, it's not that you expect. Welcome to the Barakah Effect podcast. If you find value in this episode, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and share this episode to others to join us in our mission to inspire communities of high achievers striving for continuous growth and excellence in dunya and hereafter. This is episode 56, a revert story, how Islam changed my life.
ولو أن أهل القرى آمنوا واتقوا لفتحنا عليهم بركات من السماء والأرض.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man tabi'ahum bi ihsanin ila yaumiddin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
MashaAllah. Hayyakumullah, brothers and sisters. Welcome to the Barakah Effect podcast. The topic of our discussion this week is, MashaAllah, a revert story, how Islam changed my life and inshallah can change yours too. And for this episode, we have our friend, brother Adam Voo. MashaAllah. Ahlan wa sahlan, brother Adam. Thank you for making your time with us on our discussion today.
I'm honored to be invited.
MashaAllah.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. So a side note, brother Adam Voo is also a fellow engineer, just like the three of us. So mashallah, nahnu muhandisun, right? There are 4 engineers in this discussion, right? So mashallah. So maybe just a bit of a background on us, brother Adam. I think we met a few years ago. I think it was a Al-Kawthar course, I think. Was it?
That was very long time ago then.
yeah, it was a long time ago. And subhanallah, I remember taking your contact and then we didn't contact for a while, and then later on we had an event like a team building with Sheikh Hussein, right? And then Sheikh, and I remember Sheikh's assistant was saying, "Oh, Sheikh wants to bring his student along with him to KK." Oh, who is that? Adam Voo. Oh, Adam Voo. Okay. So mashallah, that was nice. And that was your hometown, right? In Kota Kinabalu, right? Sabah.
Yes.
Beautiful
KK,
place.
my hometown.
Subhanallah.
Yeah, mashallah, beautiful place. So mashallah, just a side note, Akhi. So you are Sabahan Chinese Revert. Mashallah, that's as exotic as a Malaysian can get. To my So mashallah, it's nice to have you.
Thank
And
you.
then-
Thank you.
Yeah, mashallah. And I've also been observing like you've been conducting new reverts classes for Al Khadim, isn't it? Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, mashallah. And back in 2020 as well, you published the first book on 100 hadith on Sunan Abu Dawud, lessons by Adam Voo.
Alhamdulillah.
Mashallah.
Alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah.
Mashallah. Barakallahu feekum. I have to admit, I do feel a healthy sense of jealousy there. So may Allah grant great barakah in this effort. Mashallah.
Amin,
So,
amin,
Ameen.
so share with us this journey. Like, what made you come up with the idea of like sharing this 100 hadith of Sunan Abu Dawud?
Okay. Actually, this book, this 100 hadith from Sunan Abu Dawud, you can get it from the Dawah Corner. Alhamdulillah, we sold almost 1,000 copies already. You can get it from the major bookstore as well. I'm not sure about MPH and all that, but I know Kinokuniya, they're selling
Kino,
it.
wow, mashallah.
Kino. Because someone actually saw it and then he took a picture and then he told me, "Oh, I saw your book," like that. So I didn't know actually.
Amazing.
So I'm not sure about like MPH and all that. But anyway, the whole point about this project is that when I was doing my master degree in Islamic studies with Aris University, specifically with Sheikh Isam Rajab, this is the project that I have to complete my master degree. Alhamdulillah. So yes,
okay.
yes.
Wow.
Oh,
So
okay.
so this 100 hadith actually was selected by Sheikh Isam himself. Yes. So he always wanted to turn it into a book. So he
see.
selected the hadith. So he said, anyone wants to take on the challenge, take this 100 hadith, write lessons, and then make it a book. Yeah. So I said, okay, I'll take it. I like challenge, right? So
That's awesome, mashallah.
so the whole point is, first of all, we wanted to introduce Sunan Abu Dawud to the average Muslims, because what we notice is average Muslims, they don't know about other hadith book, the other hadith of the six hadith books, for example, right? Maybe they would know Sahih Bukhari.
Yep.
Maybe they know Sahih Muslim most tops, these two Sahihain. That's all. The rest, they don't know. They are not exposed to it, right? In fact, majority of people also don't know even Sahih Bukhari, right? So we said, okay, why don't we do something like this? So we want to expose Sunan Abu Dawud to the public, and inshallah, this effort will help them to also start to read more about Sunan Abu Dawud, right? Also, second thing is we want to have some lessons, and this selected hadith from Sheikh Isam, very applicable for today's life. So he wants someone to write the lessons so that we can practice it for today's life, right? Because many people, they want to practice Islam, but they don't know how, right? They don't know how. So he selected all these hadith and get his students to write the lessons applicable for today's life. Don't talk about the hukum hakam. Don't talk about don't talk about all the details, because the book is not meant. It's not meant for the students of knowledge. It's meant for the public who read it, and then you're like, oh, I can actually do that. Oh, I can actually apply that. Oh, Rasulullah actually did that. Like that. Yes. So things that we can.
Mashallah, that's beautiful.
Yes. So it's a very, very, very noble project. So I like the objectives, and hence I took it up. In fact, this is not the only project. So there will be another book coming up, inshallah. Right? So it was two books.
Okay, from you as well?
Yeah. So This is the first one.
Nice.
The
MashaAllah.
second one is 100 hadith from Jami' at-Tirmidhi. So same thing. So that's what,
At-Tirmidhi. Nice.
yeah.
Okay.
So that's what it's in progress now. So inshallah, it will be published, and then it will be
Right.
like.
So are these hadith like specifically like from Abu Dawud, but not compiled by say like it's also narrated by Al-Bukhari and Muslim. Like how was it selected?
Only from Sunan Abu Dawud. How is selected? Like I said, the Sheikh selected because it's applicable for today's life, so that the Muslims can implement it in their life. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's something.
And these don't overlap
unique.
with Sahih Bukhari necessarily, yeah?
Not necessarily. Yeah, necessarily.
mashallah.
So Jami' at-Tirmidhi, it will be another one. 100 hadith, Jami' at-Tirmidhi, same thing. So again, the same objective. We want to expose the public to Jami' at-Tirmidhi. A lot of people don't even know who is Imam Tirmidhi, for example. Right?
True. Yeah.
I personally, from my experience, when this book was published, in fact, when it was sold to some of my colleagues, a lot of my colleagues, some of them actually come and ask me, what is this Abu Dawud? What is this Sunan Abu Dawud?
Wow.
Yes. And when I explained to them, they're like, oh, okay. Can I get the real Sunan Abu Dawud? I said, yeah, you can get it from, I told them you go to Da'wah Corner. So this is exactly what we want. We want someone.
MashaAllah.
Inshallah, this book
beautiful.
will be like a catalyst for someone who wants to learn more about Islam, right? Someone who starts to like, I want to practice Islam.
True.
And then inshallah, after this, I want to learn more about Islam. There's actually more about it, like this. So this is our object, this is our intention, which is very good.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, Dawah Corner has a publication on. Sorry, my connection's not so good. Sorry. If I recall correctly, there was one publication from Dawah Corner on Sunan Abu Dawud that has like authentication from Sheikh Al-Albani as well, right? So like, you can even see the notes behind that, right? Which ones are authentic, right? Because not necessarily every narration there is not authentic, isn't it?
Correct. So we also mentioned the one that is not authentic. We mentioned is da'if. Yeah, da'if. We mentioned. Yeah. So not necessary. We have to implement it. What we mentioned is da'if, but we take lessons from it, right? The content. So we take the lessons from it.
Right.
Okay, mashallah.
So that's the whole
Allah
point. Correct. That's the whole point of introducing the books to the public. Yeah. So it's not meant for students of knowledge. Yeah. You want to be a student of knowledge?
Mashallah.
With more advanced book. This is a very basic books. Yeah. So that's the objective.
Yeah. MashaAllah, I really love that point that Sheikh Isam brought, because that's exactly what we were trying to bring here at the Barakah Effect. Because we do see this disconnect. Like there is, MashaAllah, we have those resources there. But the question is, how can we apply that in our day-to-day life? How can we apply that in our career as a parent, as a neighbor, as a husband, like how can we apply that? So I really love that the Sheikh thinks like that. Like okay, this is how can we implement the Sunnah, right?
Correct. Because who would read the whole sets of Sunan Abu Dawud, right?
Right. Yeah.
Muslims today don't even read. So we like something short. Everything also short. Yeah, small.
Wow.
So we publish a small version then, right? Publish a small version, selected version. Let you read. Yeah, let you read about it. Let you think about it. Yeah. So that's the whole point.
Makes me wonder what other awesome projects Sheikh Isam has conjured up. Huh? I mean, you alone already can produce 2 ideas like this. Like, so, what other brilliant stuff is up ahead there, right?
So he's saying if we successfully publish these 2 books, then maybe next we can publish another 2, Ibn Majah and An-Nasa'i, right?
Right.
So get the 4 books out. Yeah. Why not, right?
MashaAllah.
Amazing.
Why stop at 2, right?
May Allah grant you success.
I mean,
I stop at 2, I like that.
And that's the thing, right? You just need one to prove yourself that it can be done, right?
It's always I learned so much. I still learn so much publishing this book. Seriously, wallahi, it is so interesting, so difficult, and yet because the book was written way back in 2018, I guess 2018. But published in 2020, it took so long. Yeah, because it's not easy. It's not easy.
Okay.
So it's not easy to even determine the size of the book. Apparently, you don't determine the size. The bookshelf determine the size of the book for you.
Oh, okay.
I still remember talking to the
publishers.
Brother Farid. He told me, he said, brother, if you want a big size, but the bookshelf cannot accommodate your book. You cannot put the book in.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah.
Who thinks about that? Right?
Okay. Then I said, okay, I want hard copy. I want hardcover. I want a hardcover. Oh, hardcover, minimum 500 pages, 1,000 pages. Because hardcover cannot have like very thin pages. The machine just cannot do it.
Right.
You know?
Oh, mashallah. Oh, wow.
Then,
Okay. Wow.
But soft. Then soft cover. You don't publish soft cover in your first version. Huh? Oh, so many requirement. So many requirement. Then, and it must have a minimum thickness, because otherwise your site cannot see, too thin. When you put the book in the book in the bookshelf, who is gonna see? The customer cannot see.
Wow.
So you must have a minimum thickness. So in order to have a minimum thickness, you must have a minimum pages. So minimum pages, then your typesetting of your content, lari, because we have you have Arabic and English, right?
Right.
And you have numbering of the hadith.
Okay.
Oh, the typesetting have to be
right.
Ooh, then the size of the font. Oh.
Wow. So much things to consider.
The cover must be nice.
Oh, wow.
The verse of don't judge a book by its cover. Oh, that's wrong. Everyone judge the book by its cover. That's business. Otherwise, nobody is gonna buy your book. Yeah. Brother Adam, when you go to the bookstore, there are so many books there. Which one do you think you will pick up and at least have a look at the preface? The one that has a nice cover, right?
Yeah, true.
You're like, hey, nice cover, then you pick and then you read. So you must have a nice cover.
Yeah.
So alhamdulillah, the brother Ithar, I'm not sure if you know him, brother Ithar, used to be oil and gas.
Yeah.
The driller.
Yeah.
Now he's
he's the one.
Full time. He helped me to design a very nice cover. Yeah.
Oh,
So these are dal.
Mashallah.
These are all different writing of dal. To
okay.
represent Abu Dawud. If you the muhaddithun, they use dal to represent
as the reference,
Abu Dawud.
right?
Like Kha as Bukhari, as Muslim, right?
Ya Allah,
So dal. And then this,
Nice.
This is like the minaret of the masjid. The minaret.
Very
of the
nice
masjid.
cover.
Very nice cover.
Mashallah.
So Brother Farid said, "Oh, yeah, very nice cover, very nice cover." Okay, that's cover is done. Okay, cover done. Tick. Next pages. Alamak, pages. Pula. And then have to go through the typesetting. Oh, take almost 2 years. Then the color of the font, because we have Arabic, we have English, so I want to differentiate the sections, right? How you design the sections.
Oh, you do this, huh? Oh, okay. I always had the impression that you had an editor.
No, editor do it. Not me. So I have to tell the editor what I want. So he will do it.
Okay, got it. Mashallah. Awesome. So you already do project management as part of your professional career. So you're kind of like exposed to this whole project management in the world of publishing, isn't it?
Yeah. So I was like, wow, so difficult. Alhamdulillah, yeah. But I learned so much.
Mashallah.
So that's why the second book, inshallah, will be
Allah
easier.
grant you success.
Ameen.
Yeah, I was gonna ask actually, like, what are you currently working on and what are you currently passionate about? So I guess you kind of spoiled it for us already, yeah.
So that's
unless
what
there's something
I'm
else you want to share with us.
That's the second project I'm working on, the second book. So that inshallah we can sell it as a bundle. Yeah. So buy two at one price, and then the design will be similar, different color only. Yeah. Right. So instead of dal,
so have the same themes. Okay.
Yes. So sell it like a bundle. Inshallah.
Like that.
That's overdue project actually
Mashallah.
because of COVID. So because of COVID postponed skit. Overdue project. So
I can kind of imagine. I can kind of imagine COVID kind of helped it as well, right? Because you kind of like in house and you like in front of the laptop and.
True. But also not really, because apparently when you work from home, you're expected to work long hours.
Okay.
Yeah, I put it.
Can relate to that.
Long hours when you work from home. Yeah.
Okay. Totally can relate to that.
I'm sure.
MashaAllah. So yeah, well, we make dua that Allah grant you success in all of your efforts.
Ameen.
We're with you all the way,
Ameen.
fully support you, and we
Ameen.
hope our listeners out there can support your work as well.
Thank you.
So
Inshallah.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah, yeah. So let's get into our discussion, inshallah. So let's talk about the story about how Islam changed my life. So in your context, so Brother Adam, maybe just share a bit about yourself and maybe your journey to Islam and the context that maybe how you discovered Islam.
Okay. Actually, I was born and raised in Kota Kinabalu, Sabah, sama Sabahan, from a Chinese background. I'm a Hakka, actually, specifically I'm a Hakka. So we
what is that?
were-
It's a sub-race, is it?
Correct.
Hakka.
Yeah. So like you have the Cantonese, you have the Hokkien, I'm the Hakka. Right? You have Hokkien.
Oh,
yeah.
right. So
You know,
Fu Chao, I think in Sarawak
Fuchao
it's
is
like
another
Fu
one.
Chao. Is that like
correct? Another
okay,
sub-ethnics.
okay.
Sub-ethnics.
I see.
Fuchao, Chinese,
Okay.
so many. You have Fuchao, Hokkien, Cantonese. Cantonese is Guangdong. And then you have Hakka.
Okay.
And then you have Teochew, right?
Yeah.
You heard about Teochew before? Yeah.
Yeah.
So many more. Even Hakka have different types of Hakka. Yeah, different sects also. So I'm the
I
Hakka
see.
ethnic. So you hardly can find Hakka Muslim, Seriously.
Oh, really? Okay.
Very
Wow.
rare. Very rare
see.
Hakka Muslim. I know myself, and you know Holmes, Yusuf
yeah.
Lau, Holmes,
Right.
Yeah,
the
Yusuf,
restaurant?
yeah.
Yusuf Lau,
Yeah.
he's also Hakka. So
Okay.
not many Hakka I know. It's a river.
Oh.
So I'm a Hakka, and our family, we were Catholics actually. Yeah, we were Catholics, but we were not born Catholics. So my parents actually accepted
Oh,
Catholics. Yeah. So initially, of course,
Okay.
I think by background they were ancestors worshippers. I would say Chinese majority,
Okay.
even until today, ancestors worshippers. A lot of people thought Chinese are Buddhist majority. Not really. Yeah. Actually, majority
okay.
still remain as ancestors worshippers. Yeah. So they accepted Catholics because Sabah Catholicism very strong. So I accepted Catholicism at the age of 9 or 10. Primary 3 is 9.
Oh.
Right. So I was not
Right,
baptized in the infant. Yeah.
Okay.
So I baptized at the age of 9 after learning the religion. Yep. So that's how I grew up. I grew up in a Catholic family. And then when I came to work, my first job, someone actually da'wah to me, a Malay guy. So we were working at that time I was working in Kerteh, oil and gas, Kerteh, and then Tikot, Terengganu Crude Oil Terminal. So I was talking to
Okay, yeah.
talking to one of the operator. He's a supervisor. So we were both smoking at that time. So smoking break. So I asked him about the religion. I said, hey, what about this Islam, this and that. So he couldn't answer my question. So he said, never mind. Tomorrow I will give you something to read or watch. So I said, okay. So the next day when we came back, so I asked him again, so what's the thing you want to give me? Give me. So he gave me this. He gave me this. Very nice. He gave me this.
Wow.
Ahmad Didat
Okay.
VCD. Until today, I still
Ahmad
keep it.
Didat.
MashaAllah.
The debate between Ahmad Didat and
MashaAllah.
Dr. Anis. The Quran or the Bible? Sorry, not this one. He didn't give me this one. He gave me this one. Sorry. Is the Bible true word of God? It's a debate
mashallah.
between Ahmad Didat and one of the pastor in Stockholm, in Sweden. So he gave me this. So then I went back during weekend. Then I started watching it. So that was the first time I realized, wow, I learned so much about the Bible. I mean, I grew up knowing the religion very well. In fact, actually, I grew up knowing the religion very well.
Oh, I see.
But I never knew
Right.
the Bible in a different perspective until I watched the debate. I still remember after watching it, I look at the CD and it says Sabah Islamic Media. You know Sabah Islamic Media? So I went.
Oh, okay, Sabah.
check
Okay,
out.
yeah.
Sabah Islamic Media. So I went It was in Setiawangsa, I think, at that time. I don't know whether they're still there or not. So I went to Setiawangsa and I said, what is this place? Have this kind of things. So I went there. Wow, they have. Then I realized there was so many more series of Ahmad Hidayat. So I bought all the CDs.
MashaAllah.
I was like,
Oh,
what
did
is
you?
this?
Oh,
So I bought
mashallah.
was
Wow,
Christ
okay.
crucified, Quran or the Bible? Is Jesus God?
Wow.
So
Then
at that point, you were actually looking into like learning more about Islam, or just
No,
you're just
no.
curious?
No.
Oh, just curious to
Yeah.
learn
Yeah,
in
so
general, yeah.
Yeah, because after watching the first CD or VCD, right? It was VCD.
Yeah.
I was so
VCD, wow, mashallah,
it
classic.
was VCD. It's
I'm
not
sure
DVD,
millennials today
yeah.
don't know what is
Yeah.
that.
So I was so actually, I would say angry, but not really angry, but very curious. I was like, hey, how come this guy, he managed to use Bible to prove to me that actually Bible is not the word of God? Wow.
Wow.
I'm very,
Oh.
I'm very like angry, but not really angry, but very like
Okay.
curious, like, hey, sure, no, this guy, he knows what he's talking about. No. I still remember I went to the bookstore MPH to buy more Bibles, because what I have is the Catholic Bible.
Right.
And he was talking, Bible has different versions.
Right.
And he actually pinpoint, it was the scholars who said, the Christian scholars who said, these are the things that they change. So I said, sure, no. So I went to MPH, I bought the different versions of Bibles. I bought the King James version. I bought, I still keep it. I bought home, and then I replay the debate, and I would stop at where he said, and he put the dalil, he put the evidence.
Oh, okay.
And then
Okay.
I pause, and I would check. I flip to that page, I flip to that verse, particular book and the verse, and I'd see. And I was like, wow, that's true. Then I check, I pause, I watch again, I pause. I was like, wow, I never knew that. I never knew that the Catholic Bibles are different from the Protestant Bibles. Never knew in my life. I thought there was only one Bible. Hopefully they thrown out six books. The Protestant Bibles, they throw out 7 books. So they have 66 books. The Catholic Bibles have 73 books. I never knew that. So it was a first very
right. So the Bible is sort of like a compilation. So then there's like there's 66 books for this version and 70 plus books for another version.
Yeah, of course.
That's like kind of how the Bible is compiled.
Yes, the first Bible, of course, when it was compiled, is more than 73 books. At that time, it was only the Pope can read. The public cannot. It's not meant for the public. Then after that, when it was published to the public, it's already reduced to 80 plus books, I think. Then the one that is currently used in the Catholic Bible, the Catholic Bible has 73 books. Then after the Protestant came later, right? Yeah. After Catholics, it was a breakaway from Catholics. Yeah. Then the Protestant have 66 books. They thrown away another 7 books. So there was evolutions of Bibles. I was only exposed to the Catholics books. I never knew about the Protestants book. Yeah. And when we learned at that time in the Catholic school, they thought we can read the Protestant books. No problem. Of course, because the 66 was in the 66 books are in the Bible.
So that's the kind of environment that you grew up.
Correct. To me, it's like it's the same. But the Protestants, on the other hand, is different. The Protestants, they were taught not to read the Catholic books because the Catholic books have seven extra books. Right? You see the difference, right?
Yeah.
So then after that, I got all these CD. Then I started. So the first point was I realized, wow, the Bible actually have changed over the times. I was like, that is kind of like it shook my foundation already. Right? Because when you have a religion, the book is one of your pillars, right? Yeah. If your book has been changed, and then you'll be like, okay, it's kind of like one pillar gone already. Then the next thing, then I start watching, there's another more thing, is Jesus God? So again, I watched the CD, the debate, and I was like, it got me even more angrier. I said, wow, Jesus was never crucified. And this guy used Bible to prove Jesus was not crucified. Wow. Then again, I did the same thing. Pause, check. I was like, wow, he didn't die for my sin. Then what happened to my sin? Because the whole point of being a Christian is someone has died for my sin, right? Then I can have a guaranteed seat in paradise. So now,
Right.
if he didn't
So
die for my sin,
since you joined Catholicism, that was kind of the narrative, is it? Like, since day one, that was the narrative. Like, he died for your sins.
correct.
Right.
So if he didn't die for my sin, then what happened to my sin? So that's another pillar gone. Oh, like, Then the next is Jesus God? Well, apparently Jesus is not God. Again, he used Bible to prove that he's not God. I did the same thing. Pause. He's not God.
Wow.
If he's not God, then who is he? But anyway, he's not God. To me, it has always been bothering me this. Because how can Jesus be a human and still God? So to me, my mind, God is God lah. He's not human. But we are taught to accept this. He is God. He came down as a human form. So that is kind of like, okay, now it makes sense. He's definitely not God. Yeah? He's just a messenger. Then I was like, okay, so if he is not God and his Bible is not the word of God, he was not crucified. The next one is, so what is he? So really, he did not die. Then I also got hold of this book, The Gospel of Barnabas, also from Sabah, Islamic. Then I start reading this book, and I thought, hey, this was supposed to be in the Bible, but was not. You know that? This was supposed to be in the Bible, but did not make it to the Bible. And it was banned. It was actually banned, and there was a lot of effort put in by the church to destroy this book.
I see.
This book
You
was
mean
actually...
that is one of the chapter should be in the Bible.
No. The book, Gospel of Barnabas. This book is supposed to be in the Bible. Because Bible is not like Quran. Quran is one book, but many chapters.
Many chapters.
Bible is many books, and in the book, many chapters and many verses.
Okay.
So big book. That's why it's called Biblia. Biblia is compilations of book. Bible. So this book is supposed to be in the Bible, but they want to put it in. Why? Because when you read it, then you realize actually Jesus didn't die. Jesus didn't die. And Barnabas is actually the only witness. The only witness. He was the disciples.
Yeah, he was a companion of Jesus. He was a disciple of Jesus.
Disciples.
Mashallah.
I mean, he had many disciples, but he was the only disciples at that time witness Jesus being put on the cross, and he saw it was not him. It was not him. It is exactly what mentioned in the most
marfu'.
Yeah, correct.
It's the most marfu' the reference
because he really saw. He was there. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So he saw.
Oh, mashallah.
And he narrated. He put it down here, and he after that bumped into Jesus. He even mentioned all these things because the stories does not jive with the Trinity stories. So the books was banned. Didn't make it into the Bible.
Okay. Wow.
And then I said, okay, that's it. Then my faith is gone. That's it.
How old are you at this point?
28, I think. 28. Yeah. Then I said, well, at that time, still Islam is not Islam, right? So Islam is not Islam. Then I got hold of this book. This is when this book, Muhammad in the World Scriptures. Have you saw this book before? It's written by ex-priest, David Benjamin. He has become Muslim now. Abdul Ahad Dawud, his name, Abdul Ahad Dawud. Actually, this book is with 2 volumes. The first volume talks about Muhammad in other world scriptures, like the Hindu scriptures, the Persian scriptures. This one, specifically volume 2, talks about Muhammad in the Bible. In the Bible. So if you read this is a very technical book. If you read this book, the Sheikh managed to trace down the word Muhammad was actually mentioned in the Bible. Yeah. Very, very detailed, written like a doctorate thesis book. Very, very detailed. When I read this, then that's when I said, they have changed the word. They actually changed. So today, if you go to the Bible, you will see the word is different. Right? They have changed. So instead of using Muhammad, they change it to something else. Depending which Bible you read, different. They change it differently. It's like lost in translation.
I see.
Yeah. So by name, actually, Muhammad was mentioned, or Ahmad also was mentioned. It is exactly what mentioned in the Quran, right? That Allah says.
So that ayah in
the
Surah
name-
As-Saf, isn't it? Right.
Yep. It was mentioned.
So it's actually
specifically.
there in writing even until today.
Correct.
Wow,
Correct.
subhanallah.
But it has been changed. Correct. Then I was like, oh, okay. So who is this Muhammad? Then next, I want to find out who is this Muhammad. So what? He's mentioned in all the Bible, right?
Yeah.
But really, who is he? So that's the next thing. I got a hold of this book, The Life of Muhammad by
Link apa?
Abdul Hamid Siddiq.
Ahmed Siddiq.
So that's like a
Oh, okay. Yeah, my mom has that
simple,
book. Okay.
a simple version about the life of Muhammad. That's when I realized Muhammad SAW is the final messenger. Not only he's the final messenger, he is also prophesied by Jesus himself. So that at that point, I was like, okay, so Islam is the religion. It is the only religion by God, the Almighty, and by all the prophets, brought by all the prophets, including Prophet Jesus himself and his mother Maryam or Mary, right? That's when I
But
said
brother, I have to
Syahadah.
ask. I mean, like, you put in quite a lot of effort to read. Is it like, have you always had this interest to read and to investigate?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
these are not small
Yes,
books,
yes.
yeah.
Yes,
So you were always raised with that. Okay.
Correct. I'm a very analytical guy. That's why that makes us engineer.
Okay. So true. So the engineer is actually part of you, growing
Correct.
up.
MashaAllah.
Okay. Because I was gonna ask, like, why did this matter to you? Like, why did this, like, you just had to find out? Like, is it because, like, you've always considered yourself somebody who's religious and you're always seeking for the truth in that sense?
Actually, I consider myself religious when I was a Catholic guy. Yes, yes. I actually study the Bible. I was very religious. Yeah, I wouldn't say to that extent that I actually wanted to become a priest, but I never enrolled into the priesthood. Yeah. Yes, I always find religion very very interesting topic. Yeah, very very interesting.
Okay, because I was gonna ask, like, what triggered you in the first place to ask during that smoke break, right? What triggered you to kind of like inquire? Like, tell me more about.
Because I
Islam in
always
the first
like to
place.
talk about religion. I always like to talk about
Okay.
religion.
Okay.
I always like to discuss religion with others. I always like discuss, but I never had a chance to like discuss Islam, like talk about Islam with a Malay guy, But normally,
right,
like
right.
in Sabah, I managed to bring a lot of my Buddhist friends become Christians. Bring them to church. Yeah. It's very 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 common. We use Christmas as an event. Yeah. So that was the first time.
I see.
So that was the first time I asked him, because I saw him pray, but he smokes and all that. So I started asking him, like, I forgot what was the first question I did. So that was the triggering. I asked, like, I saw you, you pray, you smoke, is smoking okay ke, Islam. Because kan Terengganu is quite practicing kan, Terengganu. Yeah. So that's when I started asking, what about this, what about that? Then he said, I don't know how to answer you. I don't know. I don't know how to answer you. But that's when I see actually. That's when I realized, eventually, after all my findings, I realized that, wow, I never knew that another religion believed Jesus was born miraculously. I never knew that. I always
it was
thought
never known.
only the Christians believe that. I never knew, wow, the Muslims actually believe that.
Oh, right. Okay. Right.
Because this is like a miracle, right?
Yeah.
So I thought only the Christians believe that. But when I do all my research, I realized, wow, even in Islam talks about that. And not only that, it is part of the faith to believe that. Right?
Yes.
That Jesus was born miraculously by Maryam, from Maryam. So that's how I eventually surrender myself. I actually went into a denial stage for quite like a period of time, 6 months. I just stopped reading about religion after I found out this. I was like, I don't know.
Because I can imagine it would be quite, shaking your foundations at the time, you know, a bit.
Yeah, it's like your reality is shattered, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then I remember I called my parents. Told my parents about it. My parents said, "You hold on, let us fly there and talk to you first. You hold on.
Oh, okay.
Stay where you are."
Wow.
So they flew over. They flew over. Next day they flew over. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Mashallah.
And I still remember also at that time, because every weekend I would go out with my Catholic friends, also from Sabah, but he's working in KL. So we was classmates. So we used to go to church very, very actively. So I asked him all this question. You know, I found out about this with Islam. Blah, blah, blah. They were like, "Oh, brother, you need to stop reading all these things." He said, "Hey, come on, come to the church." Then we debate over teh tarik. Wow. Very heated, very heated discussion. I was like, I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm just saying, this is what it is in the book. Come on, you cannot deny it, right? You say, "Oh, but." I said, but that's what you said. But the book says like this. This is what you said.
Oh.
So, but the church said it. The church, but that's what the church. But the book says this.
Right. The proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
As people say.
So why are you arguing with me? I'm saying the book says like this. You are arguing. You said the church said this. I'm saying the book says this. You read it yourself. Come on, read it. How can you deny that? Sorry.
Sorry. There was a connection. But yeah, go ahead. Yeah. How can you?
So I said, how can you deny? For example, 7 books were thrown out. You cannot deny that. Come on, you cannot deny. This is very obvious that there are different versions floating around in the market. You cannot deny that. But that's Protestant. But you cannot just push it and say, that's Protestant, right?
Yeah.
It is what it is. It is what is happening now. Right. Correct. You cannot deny that. You just cannot deny.
Wow.
So how can you even
there's something I'm observing, because you mentioned that when studying this journey, like, it got you angry. But subhanAllah, like, you can stay curious. I mean, you kind of like, there was a bit of denial, a bit of defensiveness, but kind of it's still like, I wanted to learn more. I don't think a lot of people can do that. SubhanAllah, like the emotions,
right?
Like
the inspiration to just
because
keep on.
At that time, it's more like I want to find out. Oh, actually, Ahmad Didat was wrong.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
disprove him.
I want to dig into it and say, no lah, he was wrong lah. He don't know what he's talking about.
That was the okay. That was the frame of mind back then.
More like, are you sure or not? I want to check. Yeah, are you sure or not? I want to check.
So that's why you do, like, you pause and then go check
Correct.
line by line. This
check
guy
line
for
by
real
line.
or not? This guy
For real or not? Really or not? Did he just simply say whatever he wants to say? In fact, he didn't say what he wants to say. He just show you this is the text in your book. I didn't say anything. Your book says so.
Right.
Yeah. So that was like, wow, okay. It was a big slap to me. And if you watch the debate, you will see it is a big slap for the pastor as well, actually. Yeah.
Oh,
even
yeah?
the pastor,
Okay.
Yeah. Even a lot of people who debate with him didn't
I see.
really know about the book also. I mean, to be fair, the Bible is really a huge book.
Right.
Who will read the whole book?
Right.
It's tough. It's tough. And that's why never in my life, as a Catholic, that the Bible was read, was completely read in the whole year by the church. Unlike Quran.
That's a good point. Okay.
Ramadan easily, we khatam kan. The imam will khatam in any masjid.
Right.
For example, correct.
Yeah.
Right. And in the church, they would pick some gospel and read it every week. Some, but
you can choose a perception of what people are.
They would never read the whole Bible. They would never read about don't eat pork, for example. They will never read about don't eat pork is unclean for you. They will never read something like this. Come on.
I see.
They will never read about
subhanallah.
the believing woman has to cover herself. Never. They will choose whatever they want you to. They want to use. Yes.
I see. Okay.
Wow.
So I went into denial stage for a long time. Then after that, I realized I stopped going to church. Yeah, because I was like, it doesn't make sense already, this church. And then I also don't do anything. I was like wandering around for denial stage kan, tak nak accept. Then after that, I called my parents. My parents came over. I told my parents, I said, this is what it is. My parents said, you hold on first. I said, fine, I can hold on, but why don't you tell me what kind of questions you have about Islam? What's so bad about it? You think about your questions, and then you come back to me. So my late father, I still remember, he came back and said, you have to change your name lah if you masuk Islam. You cannot eat pork lah. I said, don't eat pork. It's not a big deal. In fact, I already stopped eating pork back then because not because of Islam, because I have high cholesterol. The doctor actually advised me. I still remember the doctor who advised me is a Chinese non-Muslim Chinese. He said, you have to stop eating pork. He told me, he said, actually, the Malay, they don't eat pork. Their religion said, actually, they got it right. Actually, pork very bad. He told me that. I still remember until today. I said,
wow, no way.
He said, yeah, pork very bad. You see, high cholesterol very bad. I said, yeah, okay. Then I stopped eating. Yeah. I still remember they got it correct.
Wow, this is so new to me. The Malays got it right.
They got it correct. But seriously, I want to tell you better stop. I said, okay. So to me, it's not a big deal. Right. So, but then he said, if you die, you cannot bury with us in the same graveyard, things like that. So I told my late father, I said, okay, I have to change my name. At that time, it's still wajib to change name. But now it's not wajib anymore. So I said, I will maintain the surname. Okay. So that's what I promised him. And I said, all my children will carry the surname. That's what I will promise you. Still carry the surname. So they are Chinese, they will be always Chinese. Cannot run away. Right? We are Wu, we will always be Wu. Right? So then they say, but what if your children, after your children, what happened? So that I cannot control, right? But what I can control, what I can promise you is all my children will have Chinese name. Yeah. So in fact, all my children today, they all have Chinese names. Yeah. Not only they carry Wu, they have Chinese names. Yeah, they have the Chinese names.
Okay.
So, and then the dying part, the burying part, I said, you're all dead already, what can I do? Die. So don't bury together. Don't bury together. then he said. Then my late father also said, you cannot inherit from me. I cannot inherit from you. I said, you give me now, lah. Give me now. What's the issue?
Very simple and direct solutions.
Give me now. What's the issue? Then he's like, okay.
Right, okay.
So eventually, I mean, they're not 100% convinced. Both my parents, they're not 100% convinced, of course. But alhamdulillah, when I Syahadah with Sheikh Hussein, they both attended my Syahadah session. Yeah.
Oh, mashallah.
They both. My elder brother also came. Yeah.
So they were quite supportive of you.
They witnessed, man. They're not 100% convinced. Of course, if they're 100% convinced, I think they will Syahadah with me.
Right.
So,
sure.
Alhamdulillah,
Alhamdulillah.
They came to my witness. They came and witnessed my Syahadah. And this is also one thing I always recommend or advise the not yet Muslim who wanted to become Muslim. I always tell them, break the news to your parents. Yeah, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Because a lot of not yet Muslims who wanted to become Muslim, this is one of the fear points. They don't know how to tell the parents. Yeah, they don't know how to tell. So I said, just find one of your parents, because you're always close to one, right? Either father or mother, right? Yeah. So whichever you're closer to, break the news. And then, inshallah, the other one will help you when you break the news to the other one. Right?
Okay.
Like for me, for myself, it's easy because I have always been very close to my parents. Both my parents. Both my parents very close. So when I have anything, ada girlfriend pun I bagi tahu kan. I'm always like this. So I'm very close. except when I smoke, I
Okay.
don't tell lah.
Yeah.
Although they knew, right? But I always
I can relate
talk
to that.
them.
Who would tell?
Hey, some of my friends, I just don't know how they do it. You know, they smoke in front of
Yeah.
their parents. Oh, smoke in front of parents. Subhanallah.
You know what?
I- there's
Subhanallah,
some-
you're right actually. Thinking back
something I
as well,
cannot-
even when I smoke, I
Never.
will never do it in front of my parents. Like, this is
Never.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
never.
right. Actually,
Oh.
I wanted the same thing as well. How can this guy this guy
Do it, yeah.
got
They do
different.
it. I just
Okay,
never.
you had that thought as well, huh? Okay.
To me, that's a bit like kurang ajar lah. I cannot. But anyway,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I
yeah.
always have this very good relationship with my parents. So I would break the news to both of them, just like that, straight. So I always advise some of these Muslims they want to be. Then I told them, find one of the parents that you're close with, break the news. Yeah, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Don't feel like they will hit you or whatever. If they hit you, that we'll deal with it after that lah. Not now, but break the news first. Break the news first. Yeah. I said, if you have a girlfriend, you break the news. So if you want to become Muslim, tell them. I said, the worst thing happened to your parents and to you is you become Muslim, didn't tell them. Then your parents found out from others, not from you.
Right.
Can you imagine? Your parents would feel so insulted. Subhanallah. May Allah protect us.
Really good.
Then
point.
they
At least
realize this.
respect them as human beings, kan? You're still their parents, kan?
Then immediately they have bad impression about Islam. Immediately. They'll say, see, this is what
that's
Islam
true.
teaches their people, to lie, to disrespect to their parents, to hide.
Something crossed my mind, brother. It's sort of like, if I were to put an analogy, it's sort of like getting married in secret lah. Suddenly, like you break the news to your parents, like, oh, by the way, you got a grandson now. Hey, what the? Like, that's very offensive, right? I want to be part of your wedding, you know?
Correct.
If it's a life choice like religion, even bigger than that, right?
Correct. Correct. So,
Okay, mashallah.
so I have many of my mentees. They took my advice. I still remember one of them is Sarawakian also. I said, okay, you fly back to Sarawak. You brought them for a nice dinner. Then after that, you break the news. See what will happen. So he did. And then he came back to me. He said, brother, he cried. He said, brother, I really did what you told me. And my father was just like, okay.
Wow, okay. So a
So
lot
you
of
see-
the challenges are in the mind before it happens.
You keep thinking he's gonna
Yeah.
hit you, he's gonna kick you out, he's gonna disown you. You keep thinking about this, but when you did it, you're like, okay, just like that. Okay, fine.
Mashallah.
Yeah.
Mashallah.
So I said, don't. I have another case where the lady is a Malaysian studying in US, and she Syahadah with me through Zoom like this, and then same thing. Oh, don't know how to break the news. I said, just break the news, because she's staying with a cousin. So she wanted to break the news to the cousin. Otherwise, she'd be like praying in fear. I said, just tell your cousin, don't worry. So that's what she did. So she said, after she broke the news, she told us, she said, you know what, I told my cousin. I said, so what happened? She said, it was very easy. I said, okay, I have something to tell you. Don't freak out. Then the cousin was like, okay, what is this, man? I actually become Muslim, so I embrace Islam. And then the cousin was like, phew, I thought you wanted to tell me you are gay.
Okay.
Subhanallah.
Okay lah, become Muslim now. So
Okay.
what's a big deal? She was like,
Mashallah.
Wow.
Alhamdulillah.
Wow.
most of the time we overthink.
Overthink.
Yeah. Exactly.
We assume this will happen. We assume that will happen. Actually, nothing. I mean, to be fair, I heard some extreme cases also. Extreme cases. Normally Indian family lah. Normally the Indian family. Memang
okay.
they would hit him. They would kick them out. Memang. I heard some of the cases.
Yeah,
like this.
I heard that as well.
Take the parang. Really, I heard.
Yeah.
So If
Yeah,
that
because
happened,
because
you
relating back to
different.
some of my Catholic friends also, like just like some of the ones that I know quite well at the workplace, right? When they share, like, because to them, right, Christian is not just religion. Christianity is not just a religion. It's like they build their friends around it. Then they have this like what's the word for it? Like this like they have halakha also. They call it like
Fellowship,
circles.
fellowship,
Yeah, like
Christian
fellowship.
fellowship.
Yeah.
Christian fellowship.
Yeah,
Yep.
and they're very, very close. They're like really
Yes,
nice,
yes.
and then they do stuff together. They volunteer.
Yep,
So I
yep,
can imagine
yep.
it's like imagine your social circle is built on that. So there's a lot of emotional investment in it. So like
Yeah.
the idea about considering another religion, it feels like a betrayal in that sense.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
they meet a lot of their future wives also through that, right? So I can
Correct.
imagine, wow, there's so many things that are going in your mind, right?
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. I mean, we would react similarly. Correct or not? If we have someone, I mean, we have this Barakah Effect, mashallah, we always keep in touch. Suddenly one of the guy wants to murtad. Of course, you'll be like, wait, come on, what happened? Come back. So I don't blame my Christian. In fact, I have one cousin who is a preacher in the Catholic Church. So when he got to know that I become Muslim, he really freaked out. Really freaked out. In fact, until today, when he see me, he will still talk to me about, Jesus love you. I said, I know Jesus love me. I love Jesus, but the problem is, do you love Jesus?
Wow. Okay. MashaAllah.
You love Jesus. Say, I love Jesus.
That's a really
No,
good response.
you don't love
MashaAllah.
Jesus. You think you love Jesus. That's not how Jesus wants you to love him.
Oh, mashallah.
I look like more Jesus, or you look like more Jesus? Who are closer?
Wow,
in terms of
okay.
come on.
Hashtag beard, huh?
My wife look more like Mariam, or your wife look like more Mary? Correct. Come on, think.
Yeah.
Wow.
MashaAllah.
So until today, there's still I understand. I understand from their point of view, right?
Yeah.
To them, someone has gone to them, or my relative has gone to hellfire, right? It's a big thing to them. Of course, they believe in their religion. I understand. So I don't blame them. But this is when the dialogue comes in. We have to have dialogue, right?
Yeah.
So I still remember when I become Muslim, I becomes very gung-ho, telling especially my parents, my late father, my mother, very gung-ho, telling them, come, join me.
Right.
Oh, okay. You got the young blood in you, huh?
The zeal.
When it's like very, I give you a very simple example. If you go to a restaurant and you found out, wow, this food is really nice, will you tell your parents? It's straightforward. You go back, you're like, hey, today I go to this restaurant, the food was so nice. We should go one day, come, let's go, let's try.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. If you
Can't
realize
win.
this is the truth, and you realize this is the way to paradise, subhanallah, that's the way you show love to your parents. How can you not? How can someone not invite your parents to paradise?
Yeah.
I cannot imagine. I cannot imagine someone who just say, "Lantaklah, you have lakum dinukum waliyadin. You have your religion." Talk first, my brother. Talk first. You really don't want to see your parents in paradise? Come on,
Yeah.
talk, right? Talk. Put effort. Talk to them, right? Whether they accept or not, of course, that's their choice. But you have to show. Come on, read Surah Yasin. Surah Yasin, there's one stories about the Korea, the village, right? The group of people.
All right, the one man who
yeah.
won his people, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, he didn't. He died, right? He died. He was murdered by them. So the Korea, Allah sent two Nabi there, and they rejected outright these two Nabi. And the man from outside of the Korea, meaning outskirt of the city, if you read the Quran, the Arabic word, he actually ran. He ran to the city. He ran.
Yes.
He ran there and talked to them. He said, "Come on, listen to these two Nabi. In fact, they are the one who bring truth. Look at them. They didn't take money from you. They didn't take anything. They didn't ask anything from you. He's just telling you what to do. How can they be wrong?" See the urge of this man, love of his people.
The passion.
He ran.
People. Okay.
When was the last time we ran for da'wah? Subhanallah. When was the last time we ran for da'wah? Never, right? And even after he had died, Allah recorded when he saw paradise, he still asked Allah, "Oh ya Allah, alangkah baiknya if my people have accepted and they see this.
Yeah,
How
laitani
good.
qaumi ya'lamun.
Yeah. How good if they see this." Still, he's thinking about his people.
Still loves them. Oh, mashallah.
This story should ignite our fire to do that. I think Malay all already memorized Yasin. I thought memorize Yasin lagi. We memorize Yasin, but we don't take lessons
Take the
from
lessons,
the stories. If you really ponder upon the stories, oh come on, subhanallah, you should ask also. Come on, you should run. You should run. You see someone do. When you see someone do shirk, or you should feel very uncomfortable. If you don't feel very uncomfortable, something's very wrong with your heart, man. You need to do a cardio, check. How can you see someone? For example, how can you see someone celebrating Christmas? Subhanallah, today Muslims celebrate Christmas. Subhanallah, I cannot imagine.
Yeah,
I cannot imagine. When I was a Catholic, I don't even celebrate other people's religious ceremony. I cannot imagine when I become Muslim. I see the Muslims celebrating other religions. I was like, what is
It's actually interesting point coming from your perspective.
Very, very wrong. Why?
yeah.
I never in my life when I was a Catholic I celebrate Raya. Never in my life.
Yeah.
Or Tepawali or Thaipusam.
Yeah.
But how come on the other side of the world, you have people, in my condo, there's a couple. In fact, before Christmas, asked us, brother, you want to chip in some fun? We're going to organize a Christmas party. Oh, we were like, huh? Did I hear it wrong?
All right.
You're Muslim or? No, just for fun for the children. So, do lah benda lain.
Yeah.
Why must do? Somewhat we didn't participate, and they really organized Christmas party in the multi-purpose hall in our condo. And they put up Merry Christmas, Christmas tree, exchange gifts. Wow, what is this?
It's quite sad actually. Yeah. So
there is no urge. There is something wrong that we have not realized that Islam is the truth. If you realize Islam is the truth, it will help you, motivate you to talk to talk to your parents. Like for us as a revert, definitely you want to talk to your parents. If you love your parents, right? I always tell my mother until my father passed away. Until today, for more than 15 years, I've become Muslim. Alhamdulillah. I told my mother, if I don't love you, one day if I stop talking about Islam to you, that was the day you realize, alhamdulillah, that I stopped loving you. So I said, you won't, as long as I'm alive and as long as you are alive, you will not see me stop talking about Islam, stop inviting you to become Muslim, because I love you. This is love, man.
Yeah.
He said, how can I not want you to join me in paradise? No way. I said, no way. If you only realize the reality of life. Correct or not?
Mashallah. You're emphasizing something really important, because this is probably a symptom on why we are so lazy to do da'wah. We don't really have that ownership. We don't have that love for that religion. Because if you think about it, right, if you really love something, you go on your Facebook page. You're like, your favorite team scores in in football team, your favorite movie.
Because
come on, I mean, you would tell people, right?
Correct. You would tell people.
Yeah, and you don't really care if people are like, hey, what, this guy is a freak lah. What? You don't care because you love it so much, right? How come we don't have that for Islam? Subhanallah. This is
I still remember talking to an Indian colleague, asking her to become Muslim, and she one day she got very annoyed lah. She asked me, she said, why are you this? Only the Muslims do this. You don't see other religion do this. I told her very simple. I said, you see, we are both colleagues, we are friends, we work together, you know me. If we were walking, let's say for example, two of us, we are walking in the roadside and suddenly there's a car behind us and he almost hit me. Do you think you'll pull me? Do you think you will tell me, brother, hey, Adam, come inside, the car is going to hit you? You are going to do that, right? Because you're not going to see let the car hit Adam, right? So you say, yeah, of course I will do it. So why would I not tell you? You are going to hellfire, man. You are leading a life
Wow.
going to hellfire forever and ever. I have to tell you this. How can I not tell you? If I don't tell you this, I'm a very bad friend. I'm a very bad friend.
Wow, that's a really good one. MashaAllah.
Any friend would do something, you will advise your friend to do. A good friend will do that. How can a good friend see a friend doing something bad, leading a very deadly life, and you still tell the friend, it's okay, go ahead, Bismillah, go die lah. No. Good friend always tell, always advise. And I said, and you are my colleague. We work together. You are a nice person. I have to warn you this. I have to tell you, come on, you're playing with fire, man. If I don't tell you, I'm not a good friend. Then she was like, oh.
Wow, MashaAllah.
That's why whoever sit next
it's
to
a really
me,
good response.
that's why in my office, whoever sit next to me, all kena mana, all telinga panas.
MashaAllah.
All kena dah.
MashaAllah, Allah Mabarak.
Allah Mabarak.
Allah Mabarak, MashaAllah. Well, that's really interesting because when I think when non-Muslims speak to us about Islam, you come to the angle to tell that I care for you. That's why I want to tell you this message. I think that kind of like shatters their reality on what they perceive as Islam. It's like, wait a minute, this guy cares for me? I know.
Yeah.
SubhanAllah. Because we hear that so rare. Even you don't put religion in the picture today in this modern world. It's so rare to hear people say that they care for you, right? And so SubhanAllah, like this is amazing when you put Islam into that. Wow.
Yeah, because this is why we said we are the one who spread love. This is the real love we are talking about, right? The religion of love.
MashaAllah.
This is the real love. I mean, you will know this when you die, right? Right now, maybe you don't believe it, but this is why we said call people to Islam with hikmah, right? With hikmah. So we use examples. Tell them, come on, think about it. Come on, think about it. Really, right? Think about it.
MashaAllah.
You are playing with fire, right? We are telling you, worship Allah. You say, what will happen to me if I don't worship Allah? I worship these idols. So what will happen? You just throw me to hellfire. Not fair lah. I said, no, actually, on the day of judgment, Allah will ask you to go and ask your idols for paradise. Go ask. Because you have been asking them. Go ask. It's fair, right? Go ask lah. So what will happen? Do you think what will happen to you when you ask your idols? Do you think your idols are going to help you on the day of judgment? Or do you think God will help you? So you have to think, right? So if you have been asking your idols, Allah will be fair. Allah will say, you go ask your idols. And this is when Allah will throw the idols into hellfire, then the followers will follow and then jump. Ikut lah, ikut. You see? So you have to think. He will not just throw you into hellfire just like that. But he will ask you, you go and ask. You have been asking them, you ask them lah. A lot of people, they thought, I die lah, No way. There will be a day of judgment, right?
Yeah, subhanallah.
So that should ignite us. So if you read Surah Yasin, Surah Yasin that's the story. It should motivate us, all of us, student of knowledge especially.
Yeah.
Right? We owe this to the public. Anyone who sit next to you who are not yet Muslim, convey the message. Talk to them. Yeah. Build rapport. If your colleague, easy ma. Lunch, talk. The good thing about Islam is whatever you talk about, whatever topic you talk about, you can bring Islam in. That's the best.
Right,
That's the best.
Right.
Yeah.
Because Islam is basically how you live,
Everything.
right? Everything.
Correct. Anything.
Right? Yeah.
People make fun of my beard.
I like that.
People make fun. Anything. So I don't care when they make fun. They make fun.
I get it a lot.
That's when the topic comes. That's when the topic
right?
comes. Yeah, that's the topic comes. Then you start talking. Then they'll ask you,
Brother, share some pro tips with us. So, we face this a lot, right? So when people make fun of your beard, okay, right? What's your angle now?
I always get that.
What's your angle now? People are saying you look like a goat. Okay, right. Let's have it. How do you suggest we approach this?
Then I said, no, the goat look like me. I don't look like the God. The God look like me.
Okay, then something light, yeah.
That's really good.
Just joke with them. Then after that, maybe ask them, do you know why Islam tell us to keep beard? Do you know why? Do you want to know why? Ask them. I'm sure they want, if they start making fun, of course, they are the one who started it, right? So
Okay.
then you speak about it. You see, Islam asks us to keep beard because, first of all, it identifies us as male. Because women cannot have beard. Today, if you look at the Korean, male or female, you also don't know. Right? Male, female, boy, girl, boy, don't know. Right? But real man, only real man has beard. Right? So talk. Then you discuss, talk. Then you bring in other topic. Then they will keep asking you. To the point that one day, if they want to know more, they will come to you.
So be that platform, be that person available for their curiosity.
Correct.
MashaAllah.
But don't be offended if they make fun of you. No. Banyak kali dah, too many times. Not just beard, too many times.
Right.
Yeah, I got.
That's a really good point. Don't get personal lah. If people ask
Don't get
something that's
personal.
maybe very sharp.
Even if you know from the way he asks questions, you know he wants to insult. Even if you know.
Okay.
You can tell from the facial or the way he asks you a question.
Okay.
You know he just want to insult. It's okay. Let him insult, then you talk. Because you have to understand from his point of view. He doesn't know.
Yeah.
And he could be getting all the misinformations from the media, from YouTube, right? And this is why Barakah Effect is good.
Sure.
You are doing something to clear the misconceptions about Islam, right? Because there are a lot of YouTubers out there doing a lot of things, talking the misinformation about Islam. Right? So what you guys are doing, may Allah bless you all to clear the misconception, right? So don't blame.
So brother, I'm just curious, like this attitude of not taking things personally, is it something that evolved for you over time? Because I found it very difficult. Like when people ask me, like even fellow Muslims saying I look like a goat. Oh, I get. So I just want to from a personal point of view, like, is it something that you had to train, or is it something like you just born with, like whatever, like that kind of thing?
No, in the very beginning, I was also very offended. But after a while, I start to put myself into their shoes because I was like them. So if I was a non-Muslims before, so I have a misperceptions about Islam as well. Right? I don't know a lot of things. All I know was Islam cannot eat pork. They pray to the box. They fast in the month of Ramadan, for example. Not many things they cover themselves. Even the hijab, I also don't know whether it's wajib or not. Right? Because I see a lot of Malay doesn't cover pun. Right? A lot of Malay girls, they don't cover.
Right.
So there are a lot of things.
So you put yourself in that shoes, those perspective. Correct. Okay, got it.
Correct. So when you put yourself in their shoes, then you will know where they're coming from. Where they're coming from. Then it's easier for you to talk and not get offended. Like I think I mentioned this before to you. There was one of my colleagues also. She asked me, you don't get offended. I just want to ask you, the Muslims worship the pork, worship the pig, is it? I said, why do you think so? I asked her. I said, because you cannot eat pork. Just like the Buddhists, they don't eat cow because they worship the cow. The Hindu, they worship the cow, the sacred animal. So pig is a sacred animal for you, is it? So I was told inside the black box, you have pig inside, like golden pig, idols lah, Then you guys do the circling and then you worship. Yeah, I don't get offended because that's what she was told. Actually, I feel happy she asked. So that's the first thing I told her. I said, I'm so glad that you asked this question.
It's true.
Yeah. Because if you don't ask, you will never know the answer. You will always think you worship a pig. But since you
also
asked,
another side of it, Alhamdulillah, she asked you, not somebody else who get like, what?
But I never heard this narrative. First time.
This is the first time. She's Malaysian, huh? She's
Malaysian.
So you can only think about how many misconceptions are out there.
Correct.
We should clarify in a nice way, because they don't know any better, right?
Yeah,
correct.
That's the thing that crossed my mind, because we always think that people kind of already know what Islam is about, but subhanAllah, these most basic things, you have these very strange narratives coming from, and you can't really control these, right? I mean, in their own bubbles, Allahu A'lam, whatever stories people can come up with, right?
Correct,
Wow,
correct.
subhanallah.
So yes, so we need to do a lot of work. Yes, a lot of work we need to do. Start to spread.
Really good point.
Just and this is exactly what the Prophet Sallallahu said.
Betul.
Convey even one ayat.
So,
Even one simple thing. You
Wow.
do one simple thing. Never underestimate your little effort. Practicing is more important than speaking. You practice it. You will see it. People will see it. People will see, and they may affect their mind. You don't know what they are thinking after seeing what you've done. I give you one example. This is my personal example. I remember when I joined a new company, and I went into a meeting room, and then I was introduced to a finance manager, and she came to me from the other end of the table. Can you imagine? She stood up, she walked towards me and wanted to shake my hand. And I said, it's okay, thank you. Then she had to go back to her place and sit down. Can you imagine that? So it's like, macam very insulted to her kan? After, when I quit, after 1.5 years, right before I quit, I was invited to give a talk about my journey to Islam. And I said, okay, I agreed to give the talk in the company, but I want the non-Muslim to be invited as well. So the non-Muslim was invited. And she came to my talk. The same finance manager came to my talk. And after the talk, and I said Q&A session, I said, okay, everyone gets to ask questions, but the not yet Muslim get to ask first. So she asked. The first thing she said before she asked question, she said, I have to say this. The first time I met Adam, I was very insulted because I walked, but he didn't. I offer my hand, he didn't salam me. He didn't even want to touch my hand, and then I have to walk back and I sat down. I was very insulted. But after 1.5 years working with Adam, I noticed that he's a very righteous man. He's a very nice guy. He's a very fair person. I really respect this guy. This is the word she said after working with, and I don't feel insulted after that. I actually think highly of him. I talk to my subordinates. When you talk to Adam, when I send one of my girls to talk to Adam, please cover yourself. Don't wear miniskirts like that and talk to Adam. Cover yourself.
MashaAllah.
I have high respect.
Wow.
This is the word she said about me. So this is why I said, practice Islam. You may, have the first poke, sakitnya, but the long-term effect will affect the person. You practice Islam, people will see it. You have the moral standard. You set the moral standard. People will respect you. People will know that long-term. Wow, this is a nice guy. If I need help, I will go to him. If I need something, I will go to him. I know he will help me. He is trustworthy. He will not lie to me. He will tell me the truth. He will really help me in my work, not just work, personal. Now today, when I join another company, when there's a finance manager position, I will call her. I said, come, submit your resume. Come and join my company. So until today, we are in good relationship. Just because I did that. But never give up Islam. Just because public, just because peer pressure. Because the long-term effect is better. It's better than the short-term. Yeah. So you must always think long-term.
Wow.
Don't think, ni macam berjanjian Hudaibiyah lah. So just because you cannot perform Umrah, don't think that, but the long-term benefit outweighs the short-term benefit. So always think long-term. We need to build our reputation. And this is also a reminder for all of us, students of knowledge, we need to practice. Practice what we preach, right? Or we don't say this and then after that do something else. Kan?
Yeah.
So people will see. You will be surprised. People see and people will think. Yeah. You may not be talking a lot, but people will see your action. This is a great reminder. This is a good da'wah. Our objective is to, of course, bring them to Islam. But if they don't become Muslim, at least they don't hate Islam. Yeah. Right? They don't speak against Islam.
MashaAllah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, at least they don't speak against Islam. Yeah.
Right. So for you personally, so you already worked, right? You were already working, and then you embraced Islam, right? So did did the knowledge of Islam affect or have an impact to the way you deliver or show up at the office, for example, at the workplace?
Oh yes, definitely. So first of all, of course, we as a Muslims, we have to be very trustworthy. So you don't be late at work. You are the one who always, on time, and you deliver your work.
Islam inspired you to be more punctual in that sense.
Yeah. I was already very
Mashallah.
punctual, but we should show a good example.
Oh man.
Like going into meetings.
That
The meetings is set at 1 o'clock.
That's a sharp arrow for us born Muslims.
Right? 1 o'clock meeting, 1 o'clock meeting. Don't come 1:05, 1:10. What is this? Right.
Yeah.
Even our Islamic lectures, a lot of lectures, 11 o'clock, but starts 11:15. Something, that's one thing that I also learned from Sheikh Isam when I did my Islamic studies with him. He's very strict in timing. Yes, I still remember when we did a diploma with him.
Okay.
If you're late, he will lock the door.
Oh.
You sit outside. You wait until during the break, then you open the door, then you can come in.
Oh.
Yeah, he doesn't care. So
Right.
it's like,
the respect for the ilm, isn't it? The respect.
Of
It's
course.
kind of like the professionalism as well, right? You respect the
Correct.
profession, you respect the boss, you respect the CEO. Why do you respect Islamic knowledge, right?
Correct.
SubhanAllah.
And we are taught to pray on time, right? So this is a good training. So always be punctual. So be punctual at work and deliver your work the highest quality. Put in your effort to deliver what you're supposed to deliver. This is all the Islamic value, right? Be trustworthy. You don't know, you say you don't know. Don't assume. A lot of people, they said they assume, right? Then they found out, if you make a mistake, admit it. There's nothing wrong. Admit, I made a mistake. I will make the correction. Right? Be a man. Be Muslim, right? So that's all these are Islamic value that we can bring into the working place, right? To the workplace, we care about others. You finish your work, you help your subordinate, or you help your teammates, right? Don't be selfish. Don't say, I do my work. If you're a boss, be fair to your subordinates. You have to do yearly performance. Make sure you are fair to all of them, because you will definitely be asked by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment. Have you been fair to them? Don't judge just because you feel like this guy is good. You feel like this guy is not good, right? Don't judge by feeling. A lot of people today, they judge by feeling. Oh, my favorite anak buah, right? Then give him very good results. This guy, I don't like him. Just because he smokes or whatever lah, then you give him very bad results. No, judge him accordingly to whatever the company has given the guideline, right? If he performs, he performs. Even if you like him, if he doesn't perform, he doesn't perform. Right? Be fair. This is something that very rare in the corporate world today, right? People are not being fair. A lot of politics, right? That's why you see people who are not compatible but get promoted. Right? So be fair. So that's what we need to do. I still remember I had one experience. I was a manager and I had like 8 or 9 subordinates. So I was very fair I tried my best to be fair to all of them. And one of my subordinates, she cried in front of me. She said, I never had a manager did something like this and said something like this to me. You were very fair to me. Because I marah when she did something wrong. Good. I said, you did a good job. I marah. You did something bad. I marah. And then I give her a very fair result. And then she said, wow, you didn't judge me just, based on your feeling. You really judge according to the book. I said, yes, wallahi, I will be asked. I don't want to be held accountable on the day of judgment. So she cried. She said, never. Yeah, you are my first manager like this. Because before me, there was different person, right? And she had different managers. So she was like, all of them, they just don't care. They just simply, they don't even have a talk to me. They just give me a result. So we have to be fair. So this is something that if you are a manager, if you are a supervisor, be fair to your subordinates. And if you don't have anyone, If you don't have anyone, then you have to be very obedient to your managers, right? We are supposed to obey our manager, of course, to the extent that he doesn't ask you to do something haram, lah, right? Same as in the corporate world. You know, if you are involved in tendering, right, you have to evaluate leader A, B, C, D. Who are you going to award to, right?
Yes.
Same thing. You have to be fair. Go by the criteria that you have set.
Yes.
Right? Don't go by feeling. Right? And before you have decided who you want to award to, perform salat istikhara. Right?
Inshallah.
Maybe we only perform salat istikhara only when we want to get married, right? But that's not the case.
Common perception.
Correct. Perform salat istikhara in every matters, every decision you have made. Right? So do that.
I have to ask a funny question lah. So when you do istikhara about the tendering, do you get a dream about the tender?
No, you don't have to
Just joking. Okay.
No, some say you have to put something in the pillow. Some say you have to put something under the pillow. And when you wake up to see if the which one did you have?
Subhanallah.
so many things. So many things.
You know, I think this is really a good point because, you know, when people say about like, you got to practice Islam, right? Subhanallah, like people have this very like, it's kind of difficult to imagine sometimes how do you practice Islam at the workplace, right? So like we're seeing a lot of extremes now. We're seeing like a lot of high performers, they're not practicing. And then the perception about people is that when you're very practicing, you're kind of like non-performer as well. Like, you spend like hours at the surau and, you know, like, so subhanAllah, like what I want to pick up from what you're saying here is that because of Islam, that strives you to be the best. That strives you to be punctual. That inspires you to be fair, to be transparent. Don't use your feeling to judge others. Be professional about it. That inspires you to admit your faults. That enables you to be accountable because you know be questioned by Allah on the Day of Judgment. So actually, all of these are the characteristics that inspire you to be a better worker at the workplace because of you practice Islam. So, it's kind of like, people don't really see it that way. People always think like, you know, to be to show up as a Muslim, to practice Islam at the workplace, you know, like the same thing that you said about like how people think about Islam before they enter Islam, the overthinking thing, like, oh, what if this, what if this, what if this, what if this, what if I don't shake the hand? What if I'm the only one who doesn't take this, you know, bribe, for example? SubhanAllah, like, if you actually do it, Allahu Akbar, that's amazing.
So what if you're the only one, right? Do you really care? That's the question you have to ask yourself. It's not about it's not about others. It's about you and Allah. It's a relationship that you cannot afford to cut, right? So this relationship you must always
it's one of like speaking about like ihsan, for example, like doing the best, right? Like doing quality results, right? Like people always worry about, I don't get credit for this. But as Muslims, one thing like, hey, you know, Allah will give you the credit for sure, 100%, guaranteed, right? Bonus, maybe you get some promotion. Alhamdulillah.
So what? Actually, if you get promoted, you should feel fear, you know. Come on, now you are heavier burden. Heavier burden.
That's a really good point.
I always say this. I said, come on, think about it. When we want to salah, right? Let's say, for example, you want to perform salah at the office, right? Or 4 of us go in the surah. You take wudu. After that, any one of you would dare to just go to the imam place and I want to be the imam. Ada ke? None of us, right? We will say, hey, tafadhal. Anta imam. Right? Correct or not?
Yeah, correct.
Anta imam. Nobody will say, wait, I want to be the imam. We chase, I want to be the imam. Nobody will say. We say, anta imam. And then finally, the one that will be chosen to be the imam, the one that we 4 of us think the most righteous, the memorize the most Quran, we say, come on, Faisal, brother Faisal, mashallah. Right? Then you will be the imam, you'll be like, okay, humbly, you go and become the imam. And then when you pray, when you takbir, then only then the 3 of us will follow. None of us will precede you, correct now? When you takbir, then everyone will follow. Then when you recite something wrong, we will correct you, correct now? We will say, hey, you make wrong, you make wrong recitations, or you forgot to ruku, or for whatever reason, we will remind you, right, in the salah. Yeah. And if you tiba-tiba you pengsan, or you break wudu, you fart, and then you go out, one of us will have to replace you. Correct or not? Replace you and finish the salah.
Yep.
At work, how come we do totally opposite? Everyone is rushing to be the promoter.
Right.
We shouldn't. We should.
And nobody likes to be corrected.
Right. We should listen to our manager. Our manager says, you do this. We said, okay, Bismillah.
Wow.
Right. We shouldn't say,
Wow.
you know what, you don't know anything. But if our manager make a mistake, we should correct him.
Correct. Yeah.
Tell him, hey, you know what, you make a mistake. You shouldn't be doing that. Correct or not?
Right.
And all of us as a subordinate should always be prepared and improve ourselves to be the manager. Why? What if he tiba-tiba die, resign, got promoted, become someone else? We must be ready to take over.
Wow.
This is our mindset. We learn this from the Salah, but we never practice in the corporate world. We are supposed to be like this. We should always improve ourselves. That goes without saying. We shouldn't say, I don't want to be manager, so I don't want to improve myself. No. You never know. Allah will appoint you as a manager one day. Be prepared, improve yourself, get a master. If you have a degree, get a master. After finish a master, get a doctorate. Always improve as you get professional certification, always. You never know you have to replace your manager. You never know. Just because today you are subordinate. Be prepared. Just like when you are makmum, be prepared to step up and complete the salah. Be prepared. But when your imam make a mistake, correct him. But never go against or go ahead of the imam. Correct or not? The manager asks you to do something, you follow. Jangan gaduh.
Yeah. MashaAllah.
So,
MashaAllah. So the mindset is like, don't chase it, be prepared for it, because if he goes there, somebody has to step up. And if nobody steps up, everyone's like, oh, no, not me. Then everything will just fall apart, right?
Correct.
So it's like, be prepared, not chase for it, not to stab people behind the back, but take responsibility. Be a man, right?
Correct.
Oh, MashaAllah.
This is exactly what the Prophet ﷺ said.
Wow,
Anyone who asks for leadership, don't give it to him. But he who appointed by Allah SWT, Allah will help him. And if he asks for leadership, Allah will not help him. He will be left. Do whatever you want to do. So be prepared. You never know. One day your manager resigned, retired, die, or promoted to go somewhere else. There's a vacancy. You will be asked, Faisal, take up. Then you salat istiqarah and Bismillah, go up. Right? But you are ready.
Oh, MashaAllah.
You are ready. Takkan at that time baru
in football they call it the super sub, right? They call it the last minute come in and score goal. Oh, MashaAllah, I didn't know this guy is so good, right? Where did that come from, right? Why is he on the bench?
So we learn so much from the Salah. Learn so much. But we never really put it into practice in corporate world, right? That's why a lot of people say, if that's the case, then Islam doesn't encourage us to improve ourselves. No, Islam encourages you to improve yourself, but Islam does not ask us to chase for leadership. When Rasulullah passed away, Abu Bakar, Umar, none of them I want to be. None of them stepped up. None of them. They were when Imam Abu Bakar said Umar said no. Eventually, everyone appointed. None of them said, "Hey, I want to be now. Hey, ada kekosongan. I want to take over." None of them.
They even rejected, right?
Correct. They even rejected.
Okay.
They even rejected.
MashaAllah.
Yeah, reluctant to accept. So how many of us practice that?
MashaAllah.
But at the same time, doesn't mean we should just I don't want to learn already. I'm enough. I'm done. I have a degree. I'm very happy. No, improve yourself. And this is why I got my doctorate. Alhamdulillah. I just finished my doctorate last. I always improve myself.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I just finished my doctorate.
MashaAllah. Allahumma barik. Oh, congratulations. Allahumma barik. Barakallah fi.
So always improve yourself. Never, a lot of people say, "Oh, you study for what? You're not going to get promoted." You study not because you want to get promotion. You want to learn. You want to improve.
You know what? I just posted something about this on Facebook. People always speak about that, right? Like when I get certifications, like get IR or get PMP, for example. Like, why you do this? Your gaji going to be the same. Like, wait, what is
It's
this?
not.
Learning just to get money? Come on, this is so shallow.
Check
Grow
your
up, man.
intent. Check your intention, man. Check your
Yeah,
intention.
check your yeah. What is your purpose? Oh,
Oh
subhanallah, I love
man,
this.
come on.
Barakallah.
That's why
Mashallah.
the most knowledgeable. There are many people who are very knowledgeable and they are very poor. They are not. They're welfare. Many ulama in the world. Then they
That's
live
true,
in a
that's
very,
true.
very simple life. They are not rich people. Come on, it nothing to do with
Yeah.
the not knowledge. I the other day I just spoke about this in Al Khadim. See, knowledge is more valuable than money. Number one, more money you have to protect money, right? But the more knowledge you have,
Yeah.
knowledge protects you. You don't have to protect the knowledge.
Yes. Okay,
Knowledge
mashallah.
protects you. Knowledge protects you. You see?
Okay.
And secondly, money. The more you spend,
Mashallah.
you just go like that. But knowledge, the more you spend or share, the more knowledge you get. Different.
Inshallah.
Yeah.
And knowledge, on the day of
Yeah.
judgment, knowledge is going to help you, but money is not going to help you.
Yeah.
Money is not going to help you.
Mashallah,
But-
I love that.
But knowledge is going to help you. See, it's more valuable than money. So, and my late father used to tell me, read as much as you can, because knowledge is the only thing people cannot steal from you. But money, you have a nice wife, you have a nice car, you have a nice house, people can steal. People can even steal your nice wife. But with knowledge, people
Wow.
cannot take away from you. Paling, they can knock you and become crazy, that's all. They cannot put something and then take knowledge and then get it and then install in their brain. They cannot. Because whatever you learn,
Mashallah.
it is for you, not for someone
It's
else.
yours.
It is for you. It's yours forever. Sticks with you. Yeah.
Mashallah.
So,
Wow.
always keep improve yourself, right?
Yeah, mashallah.
Alhamdulillah.
Barakallah fiik. So brother, I just want to get some ideas, some personal productivity tips. So you're working full time. You just got to know now. You just completed your doctorate, mashallah, Allah Mubarak, and then you're still in progress a project of completing that book, 100 Hadith and Sunan Tirmidhi, and also you give classes at Al Khadim, and you're also studying. You have a family. Wow, like how do you balance out all these moving parts? You just take 2 parts of that. It's enough to break people already, right? So how do you juggle all this stuff together without you breaking apart, right? So share some ideas, like how do you prioritize your time and maximize your productivity in those areas?
First of all, alhamdulillah, I have a very good wife. I have to, may Allah bless her, reward her. Because that's only Allah can reward her. Alhamdulillah, I have a very good wife. So my wife is very supportive, and she has been taking care of my children. So that's the first thing. She has done majority of the work already. So when I work, right? So when I teach, I teach. Of course, I don't teach full time anyway, right? So really, my tips or the way I do it is, I always think about this hadith: take 5 before 5. One of them is your free time before you are busy. So if you look into your life, I'm sure you can get some free time. So think about what are the free times that you have, and what are you doing during that free time. So if you are just wasting it, that is the time that you can use for doing what you want to do. And you don't have to have a lot. And this is why Rasulullah said the best is what is done continuously, even though it's small, right? So if you do something 15 minutes every day or half an hour every day, after a while, you will see, after 1 year, you will see there's a huge improvement, right? There will be a huge improvement.
Mashallah.
So even want to write a book, for example, I have 100 hadith to write, right? So if I were to break it down, one day I just want to write 2 hadith, for example, 50 days, inshallah, finish. So you just have to think, okay, 2 hadith will take me how long? 1 hour. If 1 hour, then you allocate 1 hour. Get rid of your, if you have been busy with social media, okay, this is something that I don't have. I don't have Facebook, I don't have Instagram.
Oh, you don't have? Okay.
I don't have anything.
Okay.
So when you don't have this, so this is when I have more time. Right?
That's one big one already, Baki. So mashallah. Mashallah. That makes perfect sense. Just kidding.
So like for example, a lot of people, they travel by train to work. If you go by train, you maybe have 15 minutes or 20 minutes in the train time. So back and forth.
Train time is so powerful, man. Mashallah.
Correct. 40 minutes. So what do you do in the train, for example, right? Do you read your Facebook? So if this is what you have been doing, so try to do something that you want to do. Learn Arabic, for example. Take that 40 minutes and learn Arabic, right?
Yeah, that's true. Inshallah.
So if you want to memorize Quran, there is time to memorize Quran. Things like that. So if you are passionate in doing something, then you will always find time to do it. Always think about your free time, because you never know. Sometimes you'll be tested with very busy times, right? Busy moments. Then you really don't have time to do something that you really want to do.
Sure.
And people used to say time passes. Now time flies, right? Really flies. Subhanallah, we have locked down 2 years just like that.
That's
right?
true. That's true.
Very fast. Yeah, very fast. So start doing something. If you want to do something, you do it now. Don't procrastinate. If you procrastinate, that's it. One day pass by very fast. Very fast. Very fast. Yeah. Yesterday I was teaching in Al-Khadim, and then I was like, wow, so fast. A week ago I was teaching in Al-Khadim also. Just like that, 1 week already.
Oh, mashallah.
Just like that, 1 week, right? It's so scary. So scary. It's been 16 years I've become Muslim. Can you imagine 16 years just like that? Wow. It's so fast, so scary. So a lot of things we want to do, and they are like Dr. Bilal Philip says, there are a lot of work to be done for Islam. So much work. We shouldn't have time. Muslims shouldn't have time to waste, right? So we should always fill up all our free time with something beneficial that keeps us closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? So that's my tips. So try to find some free time. 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. Yeah. Then eventually you will get cumulative, maybe 1 hour, 2 hours a day. You never know.
MashaAllah, Allah Mabarak. Barakallah Feek. When you said like you had such a supportive wife, I reflect, actually, there's quite a lot of shuyukh who say that actually. It's behind the scenes, the people who really take care, mashallah, they give the peace of mind to do what they want. So, mashallah, sisters, they play a very important role. Sometimes because even my wife, she once told me this. She's like, oh, you get to do this, you get to do that. And I'm sitting at home. I said, no, because of you, I can do all this. And because
you
of
will get the reward also.
Yeah, you get the reward also. Yeah,
don't worry.
Mashallah.
Yeah.
Allah Mabarak.
That's why I told my wife also.
Mashallah. Okay, I want to ask you something about the growth mindset, right? Because mashallah, I'm like, may Allah grant you barakah in everything that you do. And it's not, and then I think one thing I can learn from this is never too late to change. Like, you can start, and like you said as well, it doesn't have to be like big chunks, right? It just have to be continuous, even if it's small, right? That's the key to it, right? But I want to ask something, right? Like for you to teach Islam to others, this is something that a lot of people find so difficult in, even for us born Muslims, like, we feel very intimidated about the idea about, telling people, teaching people. How was it like for you? I mean, like, for you to, like, coming from technically somebody who learned Islam, right? It's like 17 years ago, you don't know anything, right? In that sense, right? So how did that process go like for you? Maybe if you can teach us, if you can share some ideas with us so that we can overcome this fear also. Do you feel this fear? I was wondering.
To be honest, okay, first of all, I learned never thinking that I would teach one day. Yeah. So when I learned, my intention is to get closer to Allah. I want to practice Islam. I want to implement Islam in my life. And also thinking about eventually when I have family, I have children, I would be able to also part my knowledge to them, encourage them to practice Islam so that they grow up to be Salihin children. May Allah make all our children Salihin. So that was my intention. So I never thought that one day, I want to teach, and no. And in fact, I never offer myself teach also.
Oh, okay.
So I was asked actually by Ustaz Hussein Yi. Yeah. So same thing as Sheikh Isam. So they are the one who approached me and said, would you be open if you can take up some of the classes in the new Muslims class? Because at that time, Sheikh Hussein was busy traveling a lot. So most of the time, he didn't really have the time to teach the new Muslims class. So there was a time he approached me and said, you have been following me for so long, and I know I know your level of knowledge. So can you please start taking some of the class? Do you mind? So I said, okay. So he tested me. So he actually put me in one of the Sunday class with him together. So he would introduce me. Yeah, he introduced me and get me
So
in.
like apprenticeship, huh?
So he introduced me here, get me in. I speak about a topic, just a small topic for 5 minutes only. Just 5 minute talk. And then after that, I sit next to him.
Okay.
Then slowly he would ask me to, okay, before I start the class, you give a muqaddimah. So give 10 minutes muqaddimah.
Mashallah.
Then I give muqaddimah 10 minutes. Then he would sit there and listen to me. Oh, of course. Oh, takut. Can you imagine you speak in front of Sheikh Hussein? Oh, subhanallah. I feel very humble. Very humble.
No, but you took it. That's the important thing. MashaAllah, Allah Mabarak. I mean, a lot of people are like the idea. Yeah.
Anything for Islam. Bismillah. Yeah, I would do it.
MashaAllah.
So anything
That's the
is going to
attitude.
help.
So it's the attitude that starts with it.
And also,
mashallah.
these are my sheikh. I owe it to them. They have taught me with so many good knowledge. And if they ask me to do something for them, why would I say no? Right? So these are my beloved teachers. So how can I say no? So of course I will take up. And of course it's not an immediate thing, right? They will say, I will have to test you, right? So okay. Yeah. So I will take up the test. If I fail, I fail.
Yeah.
So then after that,
I love the attitude.
So try first, and anything for Islam, and be the service to your sheikh if they are still alive, when they are still alive, because you never know when Allah is going to take away from you, and you will be sad that I never had a chance to service put my service for my sheikh when they are alive, right? So learn the adab. So I learn more adab from them than really knowledge. So that's how I started my journey of teaching 10 minutes muqaddimah. Then after that, he asked me 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Slowly, he said, take up the whole class. Then after that, he would, then slowly, when he travels, he will just ask me to talk already. So, and then of course he would listen to he would listen to the YouTube and see whether what I said was correct or not. Then if I say something wrong, he would call me. He said, in this point, you should have mentioned this, you should have mentioned that. Don't talk about this. So same as Sheikh Isam.
MashaAllah, that's so nice.
When he awarded the master degree to me, in fact, I was the only graduates of master degree in Malaysia. I don't know whether you.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
MashaAllah.
don't know whether you know. Not in Aris, when he came in 2013, I think. 2013, when he came in invited by Yasan Taklim, he was invited to lead the Salah, the Ramadan Salah. Then when he finished Ramadan, because during Ramadan in the morning he would teach. Sheikh Isam would teach. Then malam Tarawih. Then because he was so popular, the demand is there to ask him to stay back after Ramadan to continue to teach. So that's when he said, okay, I will do the diploma program to see how many people are interested. So I signed up. I got to know him actually before that. I attended one of his Al-Kawthar class also. Yeah. The evolutions of madhab or something.
That's why I met you. That's the one. That's why I met you. The one about madhab. I remember now. Okay, it's coming back.
Sheikh Isam, right?
Okay. Yeah, Sheikh Isam. Yes, that's the one.
So
the evolution of the madhabs, right? Yes.
So I still remember because I joined his Tarawih. So after Tarawih, he told me, he said, hey, how come you didn't sign up the diploma class? I said, there's a diploma class? So I didn't know, right? So yes.
Right.
Oh, that's okay. I signed up. So I signed up, then that's the diploma program. After Ramadan, we start. And then when we finish, there's a continuation to join the advanced diploma, which is the degree, basically. After we finish the degree, those who graduated, of course, then he invited special invitation to do master. So only actually a handful of people actually accepted master degree. About 15. 2 brothers, only me and brother Abdurrahim. You know Abdurrahim, Petronas guy?
I see.
So and then the rest all ladies. But the only one graduated only me.
It's always like that, isn't it? So the men are a bit rare these days. These things, mashallah.
So
So I remember one of the shuyukh saying like, we can see the future of Islamic scholarship where it's heading now. But anyway, okay.
So eventually, I was the only one graduated. He granted me the degree. So he told me, I still remember when he granted me the degree, he told me, he said, Adam, be ready to teach. I said, huh? Oh, really? He said, yes. Yeah, because in the master degree, he taught us to teach.
Okay.
Yeah, like for example, Tafsir Quran.
Okay, mashallah.
Yeah, Tafsir Quran, he will say, okay, Adam,
that's great.
Next class, you will take from Surah Furqan, for example, ayat 20 until ayat 35. You will cover this. You teach, and then so he will sit in the class, he will listen, and he will ask questions. Subhanallah. Can you imagine? So he will teach.
Okay.
He will teach you how to teach. So after he granted me the degree, he said, "Be ready to teach." I said, "Huh? Be ready to teach? What are you talking about?" He said, "Teach what?" He said, "Teach the diploma program." I said, "Huh? What?" So same thing after that. Then when he's busy or when he's not well, he will call me. He said, "Adam, cover this Quran, usul fiqh for me." Then I said, "Okay, I'll cover." Then same thing, he would record me, and then he would watch me what I say and tell me, "Okay, you shouldn't have said this, you shouldn't have said that." So slowly after that, he would just let me do whatever. That was back in 2018 until now. So you can imagine how long. So it's a long process of teaching. So coming back to the question, I never thought that I would teach. It was all approached by the sheikh. And yes, is it fearful? Of course, it's fearful. It's more fearful when it's recorded. I tell you.
Okay.
And it's more fearful when it's YouTube live. So
you say might be something.
yeah. So,
mashallah.
but it's kind of trained me to think before you say anything. Yeah, think. So it was a very good training. So yeah, so what motivates me is really doing things for Allah. So that's one, and really pay back time for your teachers, right? Be good if you read the histories of all these great imams, they all started teaching when their teachers asked them to teach as well, right? Yeah,
that's true. I remember the biography. Imam Shafi'i was started like this, right? Like he was studying under Imam Malik for like 20 years, and then like just one day it's like, hey, go teach my class. So it's
same thing.
Interesting. Like when you say this, it reminds me of that story. It's like he wasn't going into Imam Malik's class teaching us, I'm gonna be the next big thing. That's not the mindset at all. It's Allah that gives you the opportunity. When you have that ikhlas, Allah gives you that barakah, open up opportunity in a way you never saw coming, right?
It is the same thing also. He replaced him because he was busy or he was not well or he was traveling to somewhere. Same thing. Yeah, same thing.
Right.
He said
again the manager thing, right? Don't prepare to be a manager.
Correct.
But when they're acting, okay.
Don't want to be
authority comes in, right?
Yeah. When you are given, you try your best. Don't say no. Right? Try your best.
Okay.
Try your best. So this is how I embarked in this journey. And that's how and of course I talked to my wife also, like Sheikh Husseini asked me to do this. What do you think? He said, if you think this is good, why not? Then Salat Istiqarah and Bismillah.
Mashallah. Wow. So I gotta ask you, brother, like in your mind right now, in your heart, like what kind of legacy do you feel like you want to leave behind?
I think all parents would like to leave righteous children as their number one legacy, right? So this is really what we want. If you think about the hadith about 3 things that you can leave behind, right? Righteous children, the charity, and maybe knowledge, right? So if you can, knowledge is through books. This is why I embark in my project. So inshallah, the book, Allah will bless and continue and benefit others, right? So book is what I put a lot of effort, and then children also I put a lot of effort, and then think about the next thing is about what I can, leave behind in terms of charity, right? What can is there a good project that I can do that can, live long and help in terms of Islam, right? Maybe starting a business, I don't know. I'm still thinking about Is there a cooperation with existing business that I see is good, that can help, especially with the Muslims?
Right.
Because jihad is not just in the perang, not in the battlefield.
Yep.
Jihad
Yep.
also with your money and with business, if you can do something to compete with the non-Muslims business, especially the non-halal business. If you can create a halal business that you can replace the non-halal business, it will be a good jihad effort, right? So something
Right.
that I am still thinking about it. What can we do? What can I do, especially? So these are the legacy I plan to leave behind, inshallah. May Allah help all of us.
MashaAllah. May Allah grant. Ameen. So it's basically the hadith of those three things. That's what
Correct.
really drives you a lot, when in your day to day.
Correct.
So that was actually going to be my next question. Actually, is there one reference, one ayah of the Quran, one hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, or one statement from the Salaf that always like gets you excited every day, or like you like kind of like reminds you all the time? What's your favorite if you had to choose one?
That would be the ayat in Surah 15, ayat number 99, the last ayat, where Allah says, وَعْبُدُ رَبَّكَ حَتَّى يَأْتِيَكَ الْيَقِينَ. Worship your Lord until the yaqeen approach you, meaning until death. So that is something that really motivates me. Keep myself busy worshiping Allah every day. And of course, we all know ibadah is not just about praying 5 times a day. Everything that we do, right? Even spending time with your wife, right? Be playful with your wife is ibadah. So try to fill all my life, all my time with ibadah. This is my motivation. That is the ayah that keeps reminding me. We Muslims shouldn't retire. We shouldn't have the mindset of I want to retire at 60 years old. No, we should work. We should continue to worship Allah until we die. Continue to be busy, to be productive and contributing to the society, as a whole, and be a good Muslims, and try to help many people to become Muslims, as many as possible. If you cannot do da'wah, then help the da'wah effort, for example, right? That's the least we should
that's
do.
a good one. Yeah.
Help the da'wah effort. If you cannot do da'wah yourself, help the da'wah effort. There are many people are doing out there. Help them, right? Anything. Try to always fill our time with productive work. Don't be idle. Muslims shouldn't be idle. Don't waste our time. Wallahi,
mashallah.
Anything 1 minute pass by cannot be undo.
Yeah, that's true. You cannot control that.
Yeah. So they said time is the essence. It's true.
Yeah. MashaAllah, when you say retirement, for some reason, it just crossed my mind. It's like, use that EPF to invest in one of those 3 things. Yeah. I don't know why EPF just struck my mind.
In fact, start thinking now, because Allah, you catch up very fast. Seriously, I'm 45. I'm already thinking, what should I spend for my EPF? And then you have to start doing it now, because it will take time. For example, there are many of my colleagues who are already 50 plus, like approaching 60s, right? They tell me, when I retire 60, I want to open a food truck. I told him, I still remember he told me he wanted to open a food truck. I said, are you doing it now already? He said, no, after this. I said, can you imagine the life being a food truck? You have been working from 5.
That's
you have
true.
been working from 5 to 8. Because being a food truck is a very hard life, very difficult life.
It is tough.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you have been enjoying 5 to 8, and you have been enjoying your weekends as well. Out of the sudden, you think you can change this? You won't be able to.
You're like a total newbie, right? You start from
you won't
even
be
fresh grad, technically, isn't it?
You will give up. You will give up. The idea of doing that, you will give up. You're already thinking, when you start putting effort, you'll be like, I don't want to do it. So if you want to position yourself being a food truck, whatever, you have to start now. You're 45 years old, you do now. You have to start thinking, okay, live a life like this. You don't mind after that, midnight, 9 o'clock, because food truck operates malam, bro. Right?
Yeah.
They do malam, until midnight. you have to start doing it, because otherwise you won't be able to handle this kind of thing. Yeah, your weekends you relax at home with your family member. You're so enjoying yourself. Tiba-tiba you have to. Weekend is the time you have
You
to
can take
work,
annual
Mr.
leave.
Putra. Correct. There's no annual leave. There's no public holiday, because public holiday is the time that you work.
Holiday,
That's the business. That's the waktu mustajab to do business, man. Paling afdal to do business.
So drawing lessons parallels from this is basically like even that investment that you want to do, right? Like that charity, that ongoing charity, that knowledge you want to benefit people, the righteous child. Don't wait until a certain time comes. Like do something right now. Even if you can't physically do it, play the long game, right? Like think about what you can do right now. Even for example, if you want to teach people, right? Of course, the idea about teaching is it's not a start now, learn
start
now, right?
now.
I mean,
start now.
Allahu A'lam, right? Okay,
correct. This is why I'm doing now, because I position myself for retirement. When I reach 60 years old, I'm not employed. That's when I can continue to teach, right? I can continue. Imagine by the time I have been teaching for about 5 years already. So by the time I'm 60, there will be another 15 years. So I've been teaching 20 years. So the knowledge you would have gained within that period of 20 years is more. Then you can also position yourself to teach more and teach more, right? Yeah. You'll be ready to do more things, right? So you have to do something now, right? Rather than wait for when I'm 60, then I'll do. Or when I'm 58, then that's when I start to give. Because 2 years, come on, bro. 2 years. 2 years, just like that.
It's just going to fly. Awesome.
Before you know it. Subhanallah, before you know it.
MashaAllah. So, brother, we have so many more questions, but I think we got to reserve for another time. Kalau sudi, bro, insyaAllah.
Can, insyaAllah.
So maybe, Jazakallah khairan. Maybe just a last question. Like, how can our listeners get in touch with you, your work, your organization, get enrolled in the classes that you conduct? Maybe just tell us about the classes that you carry out as well.
Right now, I have been sitting in for Al-Khadim classes. So if you can come to Al-Khadim, you can go to www.alkhadim.com, KHAADEM, Al-Khadim, I think. Yeah. So that you can find the classes there. I'm conducting the new Muslims class every Saturday, 11 to 12, sometimes, and 12 to 1. There will be 2 levels, level 1 and level 2. Sometimes I'll be teaching on Sunday as well. Sunday is a normal Islamic class. 11 to 12:30. Yeah, 11 to 12:30. And for Aris, you can go to visit Aris, AREES University. Aris University, just Google Aris University, you'll find a website, and you can reach out places there. I'm active in Aris Universities as well. To keep in touch with me, you can. I guess you can call me or email me adamvoo@yahoo.com, VOO. Or call me.
Oh, Yahoo! Wow, you still got Yahoo users now. MashaAllah. Well done. You survived the millennium, the 21st century gap. Not many of those left.
I don't normally do teaching or anything or da'wah through WhatsApp. Yeah, I refuse to do that because I find it very counterproductive. Yeah. So either we do face-to-face or call, counterproductive, meaning you won't be able to reach out. You don't really, I cannot see your expression. I cannot hear your tone. I don't know whether you're happy or not, you're convinced or not. Or you talk to me. Talk to me if you want to talk. It's easy. It's easier. I do a lot of mentor-mentee relationship also. So I have a lot of mentees. So they normally reach out to me if they need help. Yep.
MashaAllah. Oh, great. MashaAllah. Allah Mabarak. And of course, get your book as well. 100 Hadith Sunan Abu Dawud, published by Dakwah Corner.
Yes. Dakwah Corner. We still have stock. And also other bookstores, I don't know. Like I say, I know Kinokuniya, I don't know MPH. I never really go to the bookstore and look for my books anyway. So first of all, I don't have that kind of time. So.
Right.
Number 2, macam syok sendiri.
Yeah, mashallah. Okay.
So, there's some website also is selling. I think some website other than Dakwah Corner, I think some website also selling. With Shopee.
Yeah,
I
it
think
is
Shopee
actually. I
selling
just
that.
actually I just googled it, and yeah, there are some other websites as well
Ah,
that sell
I think
it. So,
someone
mashallah.
told me some
Great.
other bookstores are selling it. Some bookstore from Australia, something like that. I don't know.
Ah, mashallah.
Mashallah. Mashallah.
So
Yeah,
alhamdulillah,
that'd be great.
this is why do your part, just like when Ibrahim alayhi salam was asked by Allah, invite people to Hajj. He said, me? How am I going to invite? He said, you just call, I will invite, don't worry. So do your part,
Oh,
Allah
I
will do his
love it.
part.
Mashallah.
Do your part,
That's really
Allah
good.
will do his part. So if you're sincere, do your part, Allah will do his part. You just
Yeah.
have to focus in your intention. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to hear from you directly. If you had to choose one hadith in that 100 hadith compilation, your favorite, which one would that be?
Oh, that's a very good question. I don't know.
All right, give it some thought. Give it some thought. Maybe next time we'll ask again.
Okay.
or maybe even top 3 or something like that.
Okay.
Mashallah. Mashallah. Yeah. We'd love to continue, but yeah, I think we will end here. Inshallah, we can reserve more stuff to share.
Inshallah.
Mashallah, I learned, I benefit so much from this discussion. Mashallah. May Allah grant barakah in everything that transpired inside this conversation. We ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to grant you success for you, your family, all of your efforts.
Ameen, and you too.
Ameen. And all of the projects that you're working on, may Allah accelerate the the benefit that we get from the next book as well.
Ameen.
So I think we should end here, inshallah. So Jazakallah khairan once again, Brother Adam Voo, for making your time for us on the Barakah Effect podcast. And we make dua that Allah Azza wa Jal grants all of us success in dunya and akhirah in everything that we do. So last but not least, Brother Adam, to close our conversation for today, in your own words, please complete this sentence. The key to barakah is
being in Jum'ah. Being in Jum'ah.
Okay.
Yeah. So don't separate yourself. Always be in Jum'ah. The unity in Islam is very important. Very, very important. Don't do anything
MashaAllah.
that will separate the Muslims, disunite the Muslims. If you want to do something, always think about, are you going to bring the Muslims closer or are you going to separate them? If the answer is you're going to separate them, then don't do it. Yeah. Always be in Jama'ah. Jama'ah will make us strong. The problem with the Muslims today is we are very weak. It's because we are not united. So we must learn how to live with the difference of opinions and be in unity. Yeah. So that will give us barakah, inshallah.
MashaAllah. That's a really good one. Barakallahu fikum. Jazakallah khairan, Brother Adam.
Wa yakum. Thank you for inviting me.
Subhanakallahumma bihamdik.
I also learned a lot from you.
Yeah, mashallah. Glad to have you on. Mashallah.
Please keep me in your daily salah and my family as well. Pray for us. Inshallah.
Ameen. Wa iyyakum.
Barakallah.
Inshallah.
Barakallahu fikum.
Barakallahu fikum. Okay, we'll end here inshallah. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.
Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, mashallah.
Mashallah.
Thank you.